So, hello, everybody, and welcome. Yes, welcome back here at BSN Network. Today, we welcome you back here at BSN Network. This is the BSN Network podcast here today. It is Thursday, October 1st. Hope everybody's having a good day so far and a good rest of their day yesterday. It is, in fact, October 1st. October baseball is officially underway today. The Yankees will not play their first October game until Monday, which I am very excited about. I was hoping they won yesterday. They did, in fact, win yesterday, 10-9 in a wild finish against the Cleveland Indians. Yankees are now on to the ALDS, and the Cleveland Indians get sent home. And, the Yankees dominated this series, scoring 22 runs in 2 games. And they dominated this series. Pitch was good. Hitting was absolutely amazing. Double-digit runs in both games. Come from behind victory yesterday. Was down 4-1. Then Gio Urshela grand slam. Then came down to 0-2, 2 outs in the top of the 9th. And LeMahieu came up 0 for 3 or 4 on the day. Hits up a nice single right up the middle. Scores the runs that they needed to score. They go on to win the game 10-9. Nice closeout by Aroldis Chapman. The Yankees are moving to the second round, so that's good. And then tonight, Thursday Night Football, the New York Jets play, which is great too. I said this a couple days ago. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but this week's packed of sports. We have the playoffs. We have Jets football on Thursday. Friday, more playoff baseball. Saturday, college football. Sunday, NFL games. Usually, it's regular baseball throughout the week. But this week, there's something different about playoff baseball. You got playoff baseball, Jets tonight, which I'm excited about. You know, I'll be watching that game. I'll be watching that game very closely to see what the Jets do. If they lose tonight, what happens with Gase? I've heard both he's going to get fired if they lose tonight, and I've also heard he's not going to get fired if they lose tonight. So that stuff we'll talk about in the second topic. And yes, by the way, I am in my Yankees shirt right now, but later or after the podcast, I will switch into my Jets stuff as the Jets play later. So socks, jersey, Darnold jersey, hat, all that stuff, getting ready for the Jets game tonight, which is exciting. I'm excited. Even though we're 0-3 and there's not much hope, I still want to at least see us win one game, right? Yeah, we might. If we lose tonight, we probably will go 0-16. If we win tonight, we'll probably go 1-15. So, tonight's actually a big game. We lose tonight, I'm not even kidding, we actually probably will go 0-16. This is on our schedule, the only winnable game. Because they are playing with their third, fourth string quarterback, they are playing without their best receiver in Cortland Sutton. So, it's going to be interesting. And then tonight, these are the topics for today. We got the MLB playoffs, Yankees, and predictions. Exciting. Another full day of MLB baseball. I will be watching baseball today, and I'll be watching the Jets later on at night. And then the second topic, we got the Jets and the Broncos. Jets versus Broncos tonight. I will be watching. Hopefully you will as well. I do know NFL Network, so for some areas, you need to pay for it. I, luckily, don't have to pay for it. I can just watch the game. No need to pay. So it's on NFL Network if you get that channel for free. And then fantasy football. This is not a topic. This is why I'm making it kind of an in-between topic. I usually talk about players you could start in fantasy for Thursday Night Football, but this week it's kind of difficult. Who's going to want to start a guy in the hurt Broncos and who's going to want to start a guy in the hurt New York Jets? To begin with, who would want to start a guy in the Jets? I guess you could go Broncos defense, but I don't know about any of these fantasy. But I will give you names if you're really in crazy need of a player. And then we'll talk about the Yankees at the last topic. We will talk about the Yankees this topic. And then also later on, last topic, we'll kind of preview the next series, Game 5, schedules, and all that stuff. So, with all that being said, this is the BSN Arc podcast, and let's get right into it. So, yesterday, the Yankees did, in fact, win. They swept the Cleveland Indians. So, here's actually the thing. I was going into last night's game. I got worried early, right? When that rain delay happened and they were scoring runs early on in the game, I was really to the point where I actually said they were going to lose, right? I said, there's other people in the room, and I said, we're not winning this game. I made a good prediction, we're not winning this game. Stan hits a home run, okay, 4-1, still, Still doesn't seem to be going. Yeah, I get, I get it. I understand that, I totally get it. Hold up 1 second. I totally understand. Stan hits that home run. We get some momentum. Stan definitely did infuse some of that good momentum into the team. I understand that. I just did not believe. When there was the rain delay, you were off and on. There was the rain delay. Then you had the rain delay. Then you came back out into the field. You had another rain delay. Then you had to come back out. You're finding yourself in a hole like 4-0. It seems like you've played 9 innings and you're down 4-0. It's only in the second inning. Stan hits a home run. It's 4-1. You're still outside of Stan, the offense is iffy. Nothing's going for them. And then Urshela decides to come up in the fourth inning. He decides to come up in the fourth inning and hits a grand slam. So actually, in that moment, when the fourth inning started, right, it was 4-1. The Yankees just couldn't, the Yankees just were to the point where we were just what is going on with us? We can't, we're getting base runners. We're just not scoring them. We're not getting a big hit in the big moment like we were getting a day before that. It's was this really offense we were watching that had 12 runs the other day? Are we still watching this team, right? Because we scored none in the first. We got 1 in the second. None in the third. Then in the fourth, you have bases loaded, no outs. Urshela comes up, and you're like, man, this is a chance to really open up the door. Even if Urshela just hits a single and scores 2, or even if he hits a double and clears the bases, or even if he hits a grand slam and clears the bases and gets home himself. And he did just that. That is the turning point in the game. If you had to ask me what in the game was the turning point, it was the Gio Urshela home run. Not only because it gave him the lead, it gave the Yankees life. Because you want to know why? Guess what? After that, the Yankees scored them. They outscored them 9 runs to 5 runs. They outscored them by 4 runs after that hit, which means they really dominated. And in the first three innings, they had 4 runs. The Yankees had 1. Nothing going for the Yankees. Urshela hits that home run. All of a sudden, you're winning by 1. Yankees then come back in the 5th, add another one on. It's 6-4. Then in the bottom of the 5th, you run into some choppiness, right? You had to take out Tanaka, bring in the bullpen. Tanaka wasn't stellar, but he wasn't horrible either. He was meh. He kind of looked a lot like regular season Tanaka, giving you 5-6 average innings. He did not look anything like playoff Tanaka, where he's got a 1.27 ERA and 17 or how many career playoff starts? 7, 8 career playoff starts. He did not look like that Tanaka. He did not look anything like that. Was he bad? No. Was he stellar? No. Was he meh? Yeah, I give him a 4.5 out of 5. I don't think he was awful. I don't think he was a 1. I don't think he was brilliant. I don't think he was a good. I think he was meh. He was meh. He wasn't anything special. He had some good stuff. I noticed he was really missing outside on a lot of the righty batters. A lot of stuff was leaking outside. They did say that the wind was going out to right field. Both Tanaka and Carlos Carrasco, who was the Indian pitcher, both struggled pitching, trying to get that ball outside. I don't know what all speed it was, but both of them, their balls curved way outside. The wind was blowing really hard to right field. That's why, if you notice, Sanchez's home run kept on just carrying. There's no wind. Sanchez's homer is a routine pop fly. And I'm not just saying that because it's Sanchez. It's the truth. If that wind wasn't blowing like it was, and that's what they all said in the beginning of the game, this right field is going to be an advantage for the Yankees, because most of these home runs, the Yankees are one of the biggest home run hitting teams to right field, and that's going to be the big advantage, right? The short ports in right field at Yankee Stadium is big for Judge. Judge uses it. LeMahieu uses it. Who else uses it? Stan has a couple oppos. He went oppo 2 days ago and at Indian Stadium, not with the win though, but he did go oppo there. Who else uses it? Oh, Gardner doesn't go oppo, but Gardner pulls a ton, and that's the short portion right field since he's a lefty. Urshela uses it. Almost every Yankee hitter can use that opposite field. They did that last night, and they got some good at-bats and some good runs in there. Neither Carrasco or Tanaka, like I just said, had their best stuff. Carrasco looked lights out the first 3 innings, went into the 4th, was really bumpy, and that's really what, struggled there. Tanaka looked very choppy in the 1st, settled in, and then looked choppy again in the 5th, and got taken out. And I'll tell you what, the Yankees bullpen held on very good. The Yankees bullpen was good. Yes, they allowed 3 runs, but luckily their offense was able to really produce. The winner pitcher was Chapman. He had a nice play. Brad Hand got the loss, and the blown save was Hand as well. Yankees obviously were able to score off of him. I was actually pretty surprised. I was actually worried when they were, I was actually worried when we were down 4-1. Because this is what I kind of said. Right, I wanted the Yankees to sweep. I want the Yankees to win 3 out of the 5 against the Rays and just go into the ALCS, then win 4 out of the 7, just sweep them, and then sweep in the World Series. I don't want to see the Yankees lose. I mean, you never. I hope every season my favorite sports team can go undefeated, right? So I wanted the Yankees to sweep this series. Did I personally think they would sweep? Yes. After what I saw day 1, after what I saw in last night's game, or 2 nights ago's game, after what I saw on Tuesday's game, I thought for sure they could definitely sweep. But yesterday was a choppy start, and I was thinking a little bit more of a kind of a hangover from yesterday's game. Kind of a little bit of a blowout hangover. You sometimes have those, where the team puts up 12 runs one game, comes out the next day flat. Right, you saw what happened, and I know I'm talking about a completely different sport, but you saw what happened like the Vikings. Remember the Vikings when they got the Minneapolis Miracle, Case Keenum to Stephon Diggs for the touchdown? Right, you remember that? Now, then they went to go play Philadelphia, who was the eventual Super Bowl champions. They got blown out, 42-7? Because it was kind of still that Minneapolis Miracle hangover. They were still so focused on that, and they just couldn't focus on the game ahead of them. Same thing with the Yankees. But they got their act together. The Gio Urshela home run did not only give them the lead, but it injected life into the entire Yankees team. Not just the hitters, the entire Yankees team. They looked bad in the beginning of the game. They turned it around, and they ended up winning 10-9. Yankees are moving to the second round. Now, this is another thing I wanted to say, right? So last night I wanted them to win because I want them to sweep always. But also I wanted them to win so I didn't run into any scheduling conflicts tonight, right? Because it would have been a 7 o'clock game for the Yankees tonight. It would have been an 8:20 game for the Jets at Eastern Standard Time tonight. So I didn't want to have to be like, what the heck am I going to watch? I didn't want to have one game on the TV and one on my phone. I would rather just watch one, and that's why I was really hoping the Yankees would just win so then I could just watch the Jets and not have to worry about 2 games. Although I would definitely watch both games, but knowing that the Yankees could have just won yesterday and not have to do that today, I would have just been like, Game 3-2, another reason, J. Happ's taking them out. Would have took them out tonight. And even though he started well, the past 3-4 starts he had in the season, he was very, very dominant. Very good. It was the best J. Happ I think we've seen out of his whole time in a Yankee uniform. I still don't trust him. I still don't trust him that much. I still think we have to let him go. Postseason, different atmosphere, against a good hitting team if they can make contact. Still don't trust them. So I'm just glad we swept them and got that out of the way. Garrett Cole started off, great game. And yeah, so kind of just a series in review. Cole pitched amazing, hitting was amazing, pitching was amazing, bullpen was fantastic. We saw the bullpen in yesterday's game. The first game, we only saw Sessa for 2 innings since Cole was dominant through 7 and then handed the ball over to the bullpen. And that's what I think, too. That's what the Yankees need to do in the Rays series. You saw how fresh their bullpen was last night. They had all their big guys. Britton, Chad Green, Ottavino, Roldis Chapman. You want to know why? Because Cole the night before only had to use Sessa. They used Loizaga a little bit last night, which I don't agree with because he did allow a run, and that really made things interesting. I don't agree with that move. But you look at the bullpen last night. Chad Green, Ottavino, right? Britton, Chapman, guys like that. That is your freshest bullpen. That is the true, very good Yankees bullpen. That's what they need game 1 against the Rays on Monday night. If you want to win, Cole's got to go 6 or 7 again, and the offense got to produce, and all of a sudden the next day your bullpen's fresh. When Tanaka goes, not as good as Cole, he might give you 8 because he has done it in the postseason many times, but you still have to be prepared. And then if Tanaka gives you 8 the next day, then Happ, who more than likely will give you 6, then your 3 innings of Chad Green, Ottavino, Britton, and Chapman are all set up. So, Yankees kept their bullpen fresh, is what I'm trying to say. Indians didn't. That's why I actually think, too, even though I was a little worried if they did lose last night and Green and Happ had a pitch today, the Indians' bullpen was low. I mean, the Indians' bullpen is low on fuel. They had to use most of their bullpen pitchers yesterday, most of them in the first game. They got no depth out of the pitchers. Both of them were gone? No, Bieber was gone in the 5th inning. Carrasco was gone in the 4th inning. So neither their pitchers combined pitched a complete game, which isn't very good. As for the Yankees pitchers, they pitched a combined 12 innings. So big difference there. But yeah, like I said, the bullpen had to do a lot yesterday. So they would have been very low on their bullpen. Kind of just gonna go through some stats. Judge struggled. He went 0 for 4. LeMahieu went 1 for 5. Hicks went 1 for 5. Voit 1 for 2. Voit and both the Yankees and Voit, I've noticed they've had a lot of good stuff. I noticed they're using that left center field a lot. Like, they were using that at Indian Stadium. That's like one of the deeper parts of the ballpark. Line drives, one hoppers to the walls. Amazing plays. You know what also set up that inning, that bigger Shelley thing, and this could be another turning point in the game, was when that Hicks triple that started all off. DeShields in center field really misread that ball, slipped and went over his head, and Hicks was able to get a triple. For a split second, okay? I will admit this. For a split second, I thought it was an inside the park home run. Because I saw Hicks rounding second, and DeShields I didn't think was getting up already. Like, DeShields slipped. They quickly showed Hicks, like, almost rounding second. And I was like, there's no way Shields is almost near the ball. They show back on DeShields, and DeShields is throwing the ball in. I was like, how in the world did he get that ball in that quickly? It could have went off the wall and then came right back to him quickly. But yeah, it was just funny. Like I thought that was an inside the park home run. Frazier went 0 for 1. He had a strikeout. He came in. Stan went 1 for 2. Urshela 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs. I mean, he just was dominant yesterday. Torres went 1 for 3. Gardner 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He struggled yesterday after having a solid performance. Sanchez 1 for 4 with a home run. So, pitching, Tanaka, Green, Britton, Loizaga, Chapman all pitched. So, Tanaka started. Then it was Green, then Britton, and Loizaga, then Chapman. So, Chapman pitched 2 innings of 4K ball. He played well. Chapman played well. Definitely helps. So, I mean, I know he likes to throw fast. I know we love to see him pump. I know we love to see him break the gun at 101 miles an hour. But it is nice when he can give you depth when he's only pitching 95, 97. It's nice because, look, he gave us 2 solid innings there. If that was Chapman 2-3 years ago, he would have gave us 1 inning because he throws gas 103, and you can't throw a guy that throws 103 2 innings. So now that he's developed more of that slider to that off-speed pitch, it really does help with him. He's still a very hard pitcher, but he definitely lays off of it now. Back then, he used to be just fastballs. Now, he's fastball and mixes in the slider, which helps him go a little bit longer, which is very good for the bullpen. So the Yankees won 10-9. So today, while I'm watching some of the baseball games, and later on tonight when I'm watching the Jets, I don't have to worry about focusing on the Yankees having to make the ALDS. The Yankees have punched their ticket. Yankees versus Rays Monday. Don't know the time yet. I'm assuming it's probably going to be somewhere at nighttime. Series starts Monday, which is very exciting. Rays, a team who had dominated us in the regular season, now gets a chance. Now we get a chance to revenge them in the postseason. That's all that matters, right? You could dominate us in the regular season. We beat you in the postseason. That's all that matters. All that regular season stuff can mean absolutely nothing. So, if the Yankees win against the Rays, there's a chance. I don't want to see it because I don't want to see the Astros get anywhere close to the World Series. But there's a chance we face the Astros because the Astros punched their ticket yesterday. Today's Game 3 of the A's White Sox, so the winner of that. If we beat the Rays, there's a chance we face the Astros for some more revenge. And I'll tell you what, even Rays fans would probably be rooting for us to beat them because nobody wants to see the Astros back in the World Series. I'll tell you that for sure. And you want to know why? Because then they'll prove everyone, even though you look at the numbers of how bad they are, then they'll prove everyone, oh, we could still make the World Series. So there's a chance. I wouldn't mind that, actually. I know I just said that, but I wouldn't mind it because I would love to see the Yankees crush them in the ALCS. Like, absolutely crush them. Cole come out there and perform great against his other old team. It would be entertaining. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what happens. Yankees punch their ticket today. Dodgers, all those games are on today. Padres are trying to play for their season. So, a lot of good games on today again. So yesterday, Dodgers won 4-2. I actually expected this game to be broke open early. There was a lot of things that happened in that game yesterday where the Dodgers could have easily went on top like 10-2. They had bases loaded in the first inning, no outs. They were only able to score 2 runs. Then Mookie Betts hit a home run. I think they were only able to score 2 runs. They're both innings. There was a lot of innings where they had so many runners on base with no outs, and they just couldn't convert. The Brewers actually hung around. 4-2, the Dodgers win. Surprisingly, the Dodgers won only by that much. I expected the Dodgers to win, blow them out, especially in the first inning. When they were showing highlights of the game, I was like, oh yeah, bases loaded, no outs. Dodgers are gonna come up with like a bases clearing double, and it's gonna be like 3-0. And no, they only scored 2 runs. Padres lost. They took a tough loss. Pitching was not great. Hitting was meh. Cardinals win. Rays win. A's win. Marlins surprisingly win. Today's game is postponed, though, due to weather. They'll play tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Braves win in a wild one. I think this was 12 innings. Shutout baseball. Braves come up big in the final inning and win the game. Just insane. Trevor Bauer pitched amazing. For a game that the Braves, like Trevor Bauer, a potential Cy Young winner for NL, but for a game for the Braves that did 13 innings, for a game for the Braves that did not show that great of pitching, they dominated, and they only won 1-0. Nobody's offense did very good. Bauer played very well. Astros win against the Twins. They move on. So, I already got that wrong. So, let me see. What did I get wrong so far on my bracket? I've gotten the Twins wrong, and that's it. Got the Rays correct. Depending on how tomorrow's game goes against the Cubs and the Marlins, I might get the Cubs correct or wrong. And depending on how today's game goes between the Padres and the Cardinals, I might get that wrong. So, I think I'm probably going to get the A's correct. I just think later the pitching propels. You saw outside of Giolito, not great. Dodgers, I think, will win, even though they were rocky yesterday. They weren't the Dodgers we were expected to see. Braves might actually have a pretty easy path, and I know they're going to beat the Cubs. I know if the Marlins beat the Cubs, the Braves beat the Reds. The Braves could very well beat the Marlins. You're talking about the Braves possibly making the ALCS. I think the Dodgers make the ALCS. The only way I see the Dodgers losing if they play the Padres. And I know it might sound crazy because you're like, well, the Padres lost. I just think the Padres, when they're healthy, man, healthy pitching, they're just nasty. So now the upcoming games, the games today. So today's the game. First off, we have the Braves and the Reds today. I give the Braves the win. I think the Braves will win and sweep. I do foresee that happening. Marlins game was obviously postponed. White Sox A's game today. I give the A's the win. I just think at the end pitching propels and the A's hitting propels. Once again, clutch hitting in big moments. I think the A's win. So. Now we have the Cardinals Padres. I give the Padres the win. I still believe the Padres could win today. Cardinals going with Wainwright. Padres going with Davies. They need a hit. Yes, they only put up 4 runs, which isn't that bad, but they need to pitch better and hit better. And then the Dodgers versus the Brewers. I actually think this game's going to be closer than a lot of people think. I think the Dodgers will win. Kershaw, Woodruff on the mountains tonight. I give the Dodgers the win. And then the Yankees obviously don't play until Monday. I don't know the exact time. Like I said, I would have to go check that. I don't think it's up yet. Because it's Thursday. Game's Monday. You also have to see how all these other games go. So I don't think we can really count that yet. That it's what time it is or whatever. Let me go to NFL games. Alrighty, so tonight, over-under is 41. So tonight features the lowest over-under of the season at 41, which isn't surprising. Alrighty. So, the New York Jets play tonight against the Denver Broncos. 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Over-under is 41 for the New York Jets. Jets. Oh, wow. The Jets are 1.5-point favorites. Yeah, so Jets Broncos tonight. I understand a lot of people, and first off, let me go to the injuries, because I give an in-depth look at these games, obviously. So these are the Jets. Chris Hogan, rib, he's questionable. Jamison Crowder, hamstring, questionable, although it does seem like he's going to play. Even though he's questionable, he's going to play. Franklin Myers, knee, questionable. Jenkins, questionable. Mekhi Becton, questionable. We can't lose Mekhi Becton. Ashton Davis, groin, is doubtful. Willis, ankle, doubtful. And Brashad Perryman, ankle, out. Denver Broncos, Harris, hamstring, questionable. Philip Lindsay, foot, questionable, though it doesn't seem turf toe. It doesn't seem like he will be in. Locke is right shoulder, he's out, and Atachu quadricep is out. So here's the deal, right? The Yankees are not the Yankees. Jets are favored tonight. Okay, they're 1.5-point favorites. So first off, let's give a round of applause for the Yankees finally the Jets finally being favored in a game. Is it surprising? Yes. In the same token, it's really not surprising. Where we're being favored in a game where they're missing their running back, where they're missing their receiver, where they're missing their quarterback, where they're missing their linebacker, where they're playing with their fourth-string quarterback. That's what game we're in. That's the game we're favored. So let's give a round of applause because we're still favored, right? We're not favored much. Do I agree with us being favored? Not really. But we're not favored much. So while we are favored, while you do see the negative -1.5 again with next to the NYJ on Bleacher Report or on whatever site you're on, it is nice. You can really enjoy that because usually the Jets are the plus, not the negative. So it is nice to see the Jets -1.5. The Jets are in fact 1.5-point favorites. The Jets come into this game injured, and the Broncos come into this game injured. It's the Denver injuries versus the New York injuries. That's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much the Denver injured versus the New York injured. It's a team filled with injuries and a team filled with injuries. It ain't no in between. It's not, oh, this team's got some healthy guys. The Jets do get Jamison Crowder back tonight, and we do possibly still have Chris Hogan, and we do possibly still have Jordan Jenkins and Mekhi Becton, who left middle of last game. Hopefully he will come back tonight and play against the Denver Broncos because he is a huge impact to that offensive line, and not only just the offensive line, to that whole offense. So I will admit that the Jets are going up against opponent that are very damaged. There is no other way of saying it. They are very damaged. You're talking about a guy, Brett Rypien, I think his name is. Their quarterback, okay, is technically their third or fourth string quarterback. Whatever you want to list him on the depth chart. Is he in front of Bortles or is he behind Bortles? He's behind Bortles more than likely. The reason Bortles isn't playing tonight because he's been with the team a week. You know how difficult that is for being with the team a week and having all of a sudden to go out there a couple days after that and expect to know all the plays and stuff. He's been for the team a week. He hasn't learned the playbook fully. Okay, so it's Locke, Driscoll, Bortles, then Brett Rypien. So after this game, Brett Rypien will probably get demoted back down to fourth string. So Brett Rypien's getting the start tonight. So it makes sense why the Jets are favored, right? This is if Drew Lock, Cortland Sutton, Von Miller, Philip Lindsay were all healthy, this is a team to beat. If they were healthy, then yes, we're probably winning this game. Now, I did predict in the beginning of the season us to win this game. I did predict it. I did not expect the Jets to be this bad at the beginning of the season, nor did I expect the Broncos team to be this injured in the beginning of the season. I expected this to be a low-scoring, actually high-scoring game, or what did I say? I expected it to be a high-scoring, close game, not what it's going to be tonight. Now, there's been a lot of people tonight who said they won't watch the game. I'm going to watch the game because I'm a Jets fan, so there's no sense in it. But it makes sense for me to watch the game. I'm not going to just not watch the game just because it's a bad matchup. To me, I'm excited because Jets are playing, right? But I understand there's a lot of people who even said it, that a lot of people aren't going to watch this game or they don't want to watch this game because it is so bad. It is a bad game. I mean, even me as a Jets fan, now I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I'm going to be sitting there watching the game, screaming and yelling my head off at the TV and stuff. I will be doing that. But, I am excited for, the Jets to play again. I've always said this about Thursday night games. Are they my favorite? No. It is nice for a fan, though, because you play Sunday. Instead of having to wait a whole week to see your team play again, you just have to wait 4 days, and there they are back out on the field. So the Jets do play tonight against the Denver Broncos. It's an injury fest. It's a quarterback that I really never heard of versus a team that is rumored to go 0-16, a team that has throughout the week was rumored to lose. If they lose, they might fire Gaze. If they win, and now all of a sudden if they lose, they're not going to fire Gaze. So I don't know. What are we going to do? Tie and will that? So what? If we win, if we lose, we're not going to fire. We were going to fire Gaze. Now if we lose, we're not going to fire Gaze. So what do we have to do? Tie to fire Gaze now? Because winning is not going to fire Gaze. Losing now is not going to fire Gaze. So is tying now going to fire Gaze? Are we going to tie this game? If we tie this game, will that get Gaze fired? So, the over-under, it is the lowest. This is not going to be a high-scoring game at all. And I actually take the under on the over-under. I'm going to say it to begin with. I actually take the under here. I just really don't think there's much of a chance this game hits 40 points total. I think this game's going to be in the teens. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think there's a very good chance a team could very well leave this game with 7 points. I think that's a very good chance. That I predicted? No. I think this game could very well be like 10-7. I think it could be a very well low-scoring game. A lot of 3-and-outs. Not because the defenses are good. Defenses are decent. The strength of both teams are their defenses. Are they overpowering, insane? No. But not because the defenses are insane. It's because these two offenses are horrible. The Broncos are without their quarterback, without their running back, without their star receiver. Right? They're out without them. They still have Judy and Font, and I understand, but you also got to realize who the quarterback is. The Jets are without Perryman, and you already know they don't have a very good receiving core outside of Crowder. Hogan's nothing special, right? Our defense is banged up. Our offensive line's fine, but, our running back situation's interesting. You're balancing between, 4 running backs? Josh Adams, Kalen Ballage, Michael P. Ryan, and obviously Frank Gore starting. So it is an odd game. It definitely is an odd game. It's one of these games where you're just kind of who's not going to get shut out? Because it's kind of one of those games that could very well be a team could get shut out. Now I'm telling you this. If the Jets get shut out tonight and they lose 7-0, it's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. If we lose tonight 7-0, that's going to be bad. It's not going to sit well with me if we lose tonight 7-0. We have to put points on the board tonight. If we can't put points on the board, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't score. I wouldn't be surprised if any team doesn't score any points. I wouldn't be surprised if this game finishes 3-0, to be honest with you. I could very well see it happening. And I'm not joking when I say that. Did I make the score that? No, I told you I think the total score, I take the under on the over-under of 41. I think the total score will be 31 points. Now, I did not make it where it was going to be low like that. I just don't think that's likely. Could it happen? Yes. Is it likely? Probably not. It's just this game's just going to be difficult. To really get into the stat part of this, you're talking about 2 0-3 teams coming into it. MetLife Stadium, primetime game, 8:20 p.m. Standard Time. Sometimes primetime games, even if this game doesn't have much meaning to it, even if it's a game where, for example, like the Jets, for example, even if it's a game where it's 2 0-3 teams, or if it's 2 3-0 teams or 2 3 teams, primetime game does give that a little bit more energy. Jets are wearing their blackout uniforms for tonight's game against the Denver Broncos. We are wearing our blackouts. I like our blackout uniforms. I think we have to if the Jets want to win this game, we have to be better on defense tackling. And a lot of defenders have said that. Bradley McDougall have said that. Brian Poole has said that. Bless Austin has said that. They have to be better tackling. They're not wrapping up tackles. And I've said it multiple times while I'm watching the game. I get so mad when players miss tackles. The amount of times we've had missed tackles is just insane. We've had to have the most missed tackles in the NFL. We're taking 6-7 guys to take down one running back. It's not because he's crazy strong or anything. It's because our tackling, our form's horrible. Everybody is going in, lowering their shoulder. They're not wrapping up. They're all just trying to dive for the guy. They're not trying to wrap up and actually square up with him and tackle him. All they're doing is they're just lowering their shoulder and they're just going like this, and they're completely whiffing because all you have to do when a guy comes diving in like that is step to the left or step to the right, whatever way he's coming. That's what the Jets are doing on offense. So it's kind of difficult. It's kind of difficult for us to do that, and that's where a lot of the Jets' points against them have been scored, is the tackling. They miss a tackle, and all of a sudden, there he goes, 80-yard touchdown. They miss a tackle, up there you go, third and 31, they convert on the first down, right? It is just so crazy how bad our tackling's been this year. It's been bad. Our defense isn't horrible, but our tackling's been horrible. We have to make sure we limit the run game because that's the strength. And I think they're going to rely big on the run game. They got Melvin Gordon, who's pretty good. Phil Lindsay's obviously their better running back. I mean, Melvin Gordon might be their better running back. Melvin Gordon could definitely be playing in fantasy tonight. So could Noah Fant. But it is interesting to see what will happen with Melvin Gordon. Are they going to feed him the ball? I could very well see Melvin Gordon getting the ball fed. Even though last week he had a really off week, I could very well see him getting the ball, a chunk of the ball tonight, because you got to realize not many your star receivers out, your star quarterbacks out. Those guys like that are out. You're going to have to rely on the run game, I think, big time here tonight. Especially, the Jets' secondary is bad, but you got to also realize who your quarterback is. Do you trust him already to let him throw it 25, 30 times? I think it's going to be a balance. I think he might only throw 15, 20 times. I think Melvin Gordon might get 15, 20, 25 carries. I think Gordon's going to be relied on a lot tonight for the Broncos. Jets, I think they're going to rely a lot on, actually passing. I think now with Crowder back, I think Darnold has a new weapon with Crowder back. Crowder's probably a best receiver. He's a good slot receiver. I don't think their secondary is overpowering. I do think it's better than ours, but it's not overpowering. It's not like a Bills secondary or anything like that. I do think we'll rely a little bit on the run game and the pass game. I think we'll balance it out. As for the Broncos, I think they're going to rely a lot on the run game, right? Iffy quarterback, not many receivers outside of Judy and Font at the tight end position and Judy at the receiver position. I think the Jets are going to have to be prepared for a lot of runs coming their way. And on offense, they're going to have to prepare. I think they're going to try to blitz us because they see what happens with Darnold when he gets blitzed. It happens a ton, and teams were doing this all last year. That is the one knock. That is one of couple knocks of Darnold's play, is when he sees guys coming at him, he panics, footwork gets bad, throws the ball across the middle, pick six, there it is, or interception, whatever. Right? He panics and makes a bad throw. Same thing with even on offense, if you blitz them right up the middle, our running backs aren't that great to all of a sudden spin move and cut outside and get 10 yards on a play that you should have lost some. The Jets' offense line has to be good because in regards to them sending a lot of blitzes, I think they might do that a lot tonight. Especially with their offense, I don't think they're going to be able to do a lot. I think they actually might rely on defense to get some turnovers and get some scores. So with all that being said, I think this is my game pick. I do see the Jets not winning this game. I know they're favored. I just don't see them winning this game. Like I said, I'm not going to predict them really to win until I see them win. And that doesn't even mean anything because I'll tell you what, next Sunday I probably won't predict them to win against the Cardinals. So Jets Broncos tonight, over/under is 41 and 1.5. I think the Jets lose 17-14. I think the Broncos win. I think it's a low-scoring game, and the over/under, I think the under, and it's 31. So I think the Jets lose. It's going to be close, but I do see the Jets losing tonight's game. So that's kind of just my insight on tonight's game. Like I said, I think the Broncos might send a lot of blitzes. I think the Jets should too, because the Jets, it's a new quarterback. It's a new quarterback. He's not great. You might be able to get him, you get him a couple of hits, he might be getting shaken up, and all of a sudden he starts making stupid decisions, and there could be points right there. So that's what the Jets have to do if they really want to do good. The Jets have to be smart today. Turnovers is going to hurt you, especially on offense. That's what their defense is going to be looking for, a lot of turnovers. Their defense is going to be looking for a lot of turnovers. It's going to be looking for turnover after turnover after turnover. That's what they're going to be looking for, is a lot of turnovers, a lot of just trying to get defensive scores because they know that their offense is going to produce the way it would if they were healthy. So that is tonight, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NFL Network. It's NFL Network, but it's kind of funny. It's NFL Network, but it's Fox at the same time. Because it's NFL Network, but it's Fox broadcasters, Fox stuff. So it is it's a little interesting. But I just hope the Jets can win. Like, find somehow, some way to pull this one out. Whether that's whatever it is. Whether it's, because I understand this whole gay stuff. I don't think the Jets, I just don't know I don't know. At this point, I'm losing hope with the Jets firing Gase, to be honest. Now, if we get blown out tonight, like if we make this game competitive, we lose, then he'll probably won't be fired. But if we get blown out, like if you're telling me we lose like 31-7 tonight, there's no way we can keep him as head coach. There's just no way. If it's 17-14, 17-10, then we'll probably keep him. Do I think we should? No. Like even if we score only, even if we lose tonight, like 21-7. And, like, we're not competitive. We maybe score on like, one of our last drives of the game. Like, that's what I'm saying. The Jets have a lot of junk scores. Like, in the first game of the season, we should have technically lost 27-10. We had a junk score with, like, 30 seconds left. We ran the ball up the middle for 1-yard touchdown. Same thing against the Niners, right? Darnold throws a touchdown to Braxton Berrios with, like, a minute left in the game. And it was technically 31-6. Like, the junk score, like, we've had a lot of those junk scores. It makes the game look closer, but it's not. Like, the Bills game, a lot of people are like, oh, you only lost by 10. Yeah, technically you lost by 17. Look at how we scored the last touchdown. It was like 20 seconds left, and we ran it up the middle for 1 yard, and the next play was a kneel to end the game. Like, that's what I'm talking about. We've had a lot of junk scores. We've had a lot of scores that don't really matter. That's where I really showed you last week against the Colts. We had none of those junk scores. We scored our second possession of the game. Rest of the game, we had none of those junk scores. That's why that game was really hurt us, because it goes to show you we didn't score any points when 10 seconds left in the game when it meant absolutely nothing. We scored our points in the second possession, and it goes to show you how bad. It didn't sugarcoat anything. Junk scores sugarcoat things. Junk yards sugarcoat things, right? You score a touchdown, you make it a 7-point game with 3 seconds left, then people look on it and they're like, oh, this was a close game. No, technically it was a 14-point game, but it made it close because he scored. See, Jets didn't have any sugarcoating against the Colts. They almost lost by 30, right? So junk scores help. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if the Jets are down 17-0 or 24-0 going into the third quarter, and we have a junk score and we lose 24-7, like, it's bad. He might be fired. He might be. We make it. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, because if we were playing up against a healthy Broncos team easily, I would say like 31-7 Jets lose. But we're playing up against a not healthy Broncos team on either side of the ball, a not very good quarterback. And I just don't think the Jets' offense is overpowering to the point where they're going to score 20 points. We haven't scored 20 points in one game yet this season. We haven't proven that. There's a lot of things I still need to see out of the Jets to really give them the edge in a game. I haven't seen them win. I've seen them get blown out. I haven't seen them win. I haven't seen them score 20 points. I've seen them score 13 and 17 on junk scores and 7. I haven't seen them score 20 yet in the game. I need to see that in order to really make a confident pick that I actually think they could do stuff. So, Jets lose 17-14. I'm hoping they win, but, I just don't know. I'm kind of, at this point, I'm to the point where, so what? If, it's 0-16, we'll get the first pick and stuff. Like, it's a little difficult. The past 2 weeks, though, I have been 0-1 on my game picks, and starting off the Thursday night game. Or is that actually past? Yeah, so. It's kind of funny because this is the start of week 4, people. It's crazy. I know it is crazy. This is the start of week 4. Week 4 is starting. Week 4 is starting. It's just crazy to me that week 4 is already underway. Like, just seems like the season just started and we're already in week 4. And so far, so good. I understand the Titans did have that outbreak, but so far throughout the MLB, it's been pretty good. The health protocols have been good. It's been better than I think what the MLB did. The MLB ended up being good, but they had a lot of choppiness in the beginning of the season. We're already talking week 4. You're talking 2 weeks from now. You're almost to the point. 2 weeks from now, you're really gonna see, okay, what team's gonna be a contender and what's not. 2 weeks from now, for example, 2 weeks from now, you're gonna get, okay, is this 2-4 team a contender? Is this 3-3 team a contender? This 0-6 team, all right, you can forget about them. That's only 2 weeks from now. So. Another big game, another good game another game on tonight. Jets and the Broncos. Go Jets. Hopefully we can win. and get a win on the board for the season. Because I don't really, 0-16 would be fun to make fun of them. Because I love, me, I love making fun of the Jets. But I would have to go through a whole off season. I couldn't say anything. If we went 0-15, I couldn't say anything. Because, if I were to judge another team, all they had to say is just you went 0-16, and I would have to be quiet. That's what's funny. I would have to go through a whole off season of just being everybody just saying 0-16. That would just be vicious. It would not be fun. Having to go through a whole off season trying to talk about something and everybody be like, "Oh, your team went 0-16." That would not be fun. That would not be fun. I'll tell you that for sure. Anyway, so Yankees play tonight against the Cleveland, or they played yesterday. I'm sorry, against the Indians. Yankees won, obviously. Like I said earlier on in the game. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I knew it. I forgot something. Fantasy. Okay, fantasy. That's what I forgot. So this does kick off week 4 in fantasy. Some players you could start tonight could be Noah Fant, tight end for the Denver Broncos. Melvin Gordon, running back for the Denver Broncos. I do think Gordon's actually going to have a pretty good game, and the reason I say that is because he's been very, very, very good. I think he's going to be very good tonight with, is Chris Carson out? I think he's going to be very good. I think, like I said earlier, I think they're going to rely on the run game a lot there. And I think that's going to be one of the bigger things, is they're going to rely on the run. And Juju, that game was postponed. So here's my whole thing. That game's postponed. What's the deal? That game's postponed. Are they going to play it? What's the deal with that? Okay, so I need to pick up a receiver. We'll put Robert Woods. He's playing against the Giants. We'll put Robert Woods in there. Boom. George Kittle's officially not questionable anymore. Woo. Devontae Adams and Chris Carson still are. Okay, so we'll put... Alright, so... That obviously didn't register. Okay. I'm just trying to find players on waiver wires, wide receivers possibly. Yeah, there's nobody good. Okay, so tonight you could start definitely Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's definitely an option, I think. He's definitely an option. So is Noah Fant. I think those are your two probably go-to guys for tonight's game. I think the next person up would probably be Jamison Crowder, but I don't foresee you really needing him that much. If you're in crazy, crazy need of a receiver, then you would go with him, but I just don't know if that's going to be the case. I would definitely go ahead and say yes to Noah Fant and Melvin Gordon. Jets players, though, on the other hand, it's going to be interesting. I just think, you really can't trust many of them. So that would definitely be interesting. And yeah, that's kind of what for the gist of fantasy football, like I said. There's not crazy news just because it is not a great matchup. Like last week, we did have a couple good players. Minshew, you had Minshew, you had James Robinson, who are both very solid players when they're on. So tonight's game, I would say the only two players I would recommend is Melvin Gordon and Noah Fant. And if you're in crazy need of a receiver and there's nobody out there for some reason in your league, whether in a big person league, if you're in a 12-person league and there's nobody left and you need to get a receiver, Crowder could be the next man up. But I think you go really what's on your bench. So it's going to be interesting. So tonight is the Jets. Tomorrow is the game picks. Yankees obviously won yesterday. Very good game. We had 8 hits, and we still won. Usually 10 hits is your whole goal. You get 10 hits, and it's pretty much a win. You don't, things get interesting. So the Yankees played well. Jets play tonight, which is exciting. And, what else is on top? Tomorrow's obviously my game picks for Football Sunday. That's obviously tomorrow. Football Sunday's tomorrow. Football Friday's tomorrow. It's crazy, man. Week 4 already. Football Friday's tomorrow. I'll do college football, game picks, all that good stuff. Saturday's obviously all the college games. Got a good primetime game. Auburn, Georgia should be a very good game. And then Sunday's the NFL games. And then Monday's Monday night game. I don't know who plays Monday night. But, yeah, so loaded pods ahead. A lot of good podcasts ahead. And obviously Monday night's the Yankees, so I'll watch the Yankees, which is exciting. So, yeah, so Yankees headed to the next round. Jets play tonight. Week 4 of the NFL season kicks off tonight. 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should be exciting. I'm excited. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day. Another full day of sports, which is very exciting again. So, yeah. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I will see you all back here tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.